Good morning students, it's me Sudarshan sir. Everyone take your computer book and pencil. If you have computer book, you take your computer book. If you don't have computer book, just follow this video. That will be enough. And I have sent the PDF, right? You can refer that PDF too. If possible, you can refer that. Okay. In last class, till which topic we saw? We saw till programming a computer. Okay, we'll go for the next topic. Processing the computer program and data. I hope till the last topic everyone remember. Okay, last class we saw computer language and programming a computer, all those things. I hope you know all those things. If you don't know also, if you don't remember also, no issues. Whenever you have free time, just go through the last video, so you will understand all those things. Next, processing the computer program and data. You have learned the steps to write a computer program. Yes, we have learned the steps. See, these are the 3 steps. Last class we learned now. Steps to write a computer program. When a program is fed into a computer, it gets stored in the CPU of a computer. We know to write a program. We know to write what are the steps to write a program. But once if you write the program, for example, I am saying this. Once if you write the program, where the program will be stored? It will be stored inside the CPU. Inside the CPU, you have something called memory unit. I will explain about it, okay? You have something called memory unit. In this memory unit only, whatever the program you type, it will be stored, okay? Okay. Next. The central processing unit, CPU, is the most important part of a computer system. Yes, yes. What is CPU? We all know very well, right? If you have desktop in your home, you might have seen the CPU, a big box like structure where you can insert a CD drive will be there. You can insert the CD, you can insert a pen drive. Yeah, that big box is CPU. Okay, okay. That CPU is known as the main part of the computer. It is the main part of a computer. It is the heart of a computer. They used to say that it is the heart of the computer. Like we humans have, our heart is the main thing, right? So for a computer, CPU is the heart of the computer. Okay, it performs calculation, processes data, stores information and programs, and controls the function of components attached to the computer. What are the things that CPU does? It does the calculation, mathematical calculation. It does. It processes the data. It processes each and every data. Okay. It stores the information and program. Yeah, it stores information and program is more or less same. It stores the data and programs. Okay, okay. And controls the function of the components attached to the computer. Yeah, it controls each and every components which is attached to it. Because, for example, if you attach the mouse, it will control the mouse. If you attach the keyboard, it will control the keyboard. If you attach the pen drive, it will control the pen drive, like that. Okay, okay. The CPU is made up of 3 main units. Yeah, we know what is CPU, what are the process of a CPU. Now we are going to see how a CPU is made up of. A CPU is made up of 3 main unit. This thing you should know. This is so important. Control unit, memory unit, arithmetic and logic unit. What are the 3 units? CU, MU, ALU. Control unit, memory unit, arithmetic and logical unit. Okay, okay. CU, it controls the processing of data inside the computer. Control unit controls the processing of data inside a computer. If you fed a data, if you give some input, for example, if you give last class, remember all those things what we saw last class and last before class, so that you will easily understand. What is the use of a control unit? It controls each and every operation that is done in a computer. Every operations, whatever you do in this computer, everything is controlled using control unit. Okay, okay. Next, what you have? Memory unit. During the processing, it stores the data temporarily. While doing some process, those data, while for example, while working on a computer, while doing some process, while watching a movie, while playing games, those data are temporarily stored in a memory. That is called memory unit. You will be learning about it. Next, arithmetic and logical unit. It performs all the mathematical calculation. Other than this, the ALU also performs logical functions such as is 5 greater than 2, is 6 equal to 12, is 25 less than 45. So what is the use of arithmetic and logical unit? It performs mathematical calculation. Mathematical calculation in the sense it performs all the type of math calculation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those things. ALU not only performs the mathematical calculation, beyond that it performs logical calculation also, because it is arithmetic and logical unit. So it performs logical calculation also. You know logic calculation, right? For example, this is logic calculation. 5 greater than 2. Is 5 greater than 2? Yes. So it is finding the logic. It is finding, yes, 5 is greater than 2. Is 6 equal to 12? No, it is finding that. The ALU is finding it is not equal to 12. Okay, like that. Okay, okay. That is the work of arithmetic and logical unit. So 3 units are there. So these 3 units are main thing. Inside the CPU, there are 3 units. CPU is divided into 3 units, like that. Whatever you want, you can say. What are the unit? Control unit, memory unit, arithmetic and logic unit. That's it. Okay. Next, the control unit sends data and instruction from input device to the memory unit of a computer. What is the purpose of a control unit? The control unit sends the data, whatever the data you fed into a computer. For example, if you are giving some data to a computer, those data are sent to where? Memory unit. Were sent to memory unit. Memory unit. With the help of what? With the help of control unit. Okay. Whatever the data you fed into the computer, with the help of control unit, it is sent it to the memory unit. Okay. The memory unit, also known as primary storage unit, stores the data and instruction. What the memory unit does? It will store the data inside it. That's it. Memory unit will memorize it, store it. That's it. Okay. The control unit then sends this data from the memory to arithmetic and logic unit for processing. Simple operation. First you are giving some input to a computer. With the control unit sends it to the memory unit. It is stored in the memory unit now. It will be stored temporarily. Only then you can send it to the processing unit. Okay, it will be stored temporarily in primary storage unit, which is also known as memory unit. Storage unit, memory unit are same only. Okay. Those stored data or instructions are then sent into the arithmetic and logical unit for processing. After going into arithmetic and logical unit, it will math calculations will be performed. The input whatever you give, math calculations will be performed in accordance to the input what you give. Okay. After the processing, the processed data is sent to the memory where it is stored and sent to an output device. After the processing work is over, that processed result is sent back to the memory. Again it is sent back to the memory unit. Okay, from memory unit it is sent to the ALU. After processing, again it is sent back to the memory unit. Then those stored memory unit is sent to the output device. One more thing extra you see, output device. This is output device. In the sense it is sent back to the monitor. If it is sent back to the monitor only, you can see that, right? Okay, if the processing is done and if it is stored in memory, can you see that? No. If it is sent back to the output device only, you can see in the monitor, right? So output device is also needed. Okay. That's it. Next. So the CPU works in the same way you do while carrying out an arithmetic calculation using the calculator. So what does it mean? The CPU and calculator more or less works in the same way. Okay, so the CPU works on the same way you do while carrying out an arithmetic calculation using the calculator. More or less the CPU and the calculators are mathematical calculation alone, not all the operation, because calculator does mathematical operation only, no. So the CPU and ALU's mathematical operation are carried out in the same way. Okay, that's it. Now we'll go for the next topic. Computer characteristics. As a human being, we have some characteristics. We'll get angry, we'll be cool, we'll talk, we'll play. All those are characteristics, right? Human characteristics. Like that. Computer also has some characteristics. Even it is a machine, it is doing some process, right? So it should have some certain characteristics, right? That is what we are going to see. Okay. Let us now take a close look at the characteristic of a computer system. What are the characteristics are there in a computer system? Speed. First one, speed. You already know that computer works one step at a time. We already know, I told no in before class, computer works in one step at a time. First it will complete the first instruction, then it will go for the next, then it will go for the next, then it will go for the next. You already know that computer works one step at a time. It'll one by one it will go. The speed of a computer is measured by the number of instruction the microprocessor can carry out in 1 second. Now, how do we know that in what time the computer completes its first step? In what time will the computer complete its second step? How do we know that? By doing some calculation. What type of calculation? By calculating millions instruction per second. By calculating with the help of million instruction per second. The computer speed, the speed of a computer is measured, else the computer speed is measured by the number of instructions the microprocessor can carry out in 1 second. It means in 1 second how many instructions will be carried out, how many instructions could be processed. How many instructions will be processed by a microprocessor in 1 second. That calculation gives the speed of a computer. Yeah, we know obviously in 1 second how many instruction it processes. If we know that, it gives the speed of a computer. This is it. Okay. This is measured in million instructions per second. Yeah, computer basically in 1 second it will process millions of instructions. That is the speed of a computer. As of humans, we can process one instruction in 1 second. Maybe to the core, at least if we can try to understand and complete one instruction in 1 second. But computer, it will process instructions, millions of instructions in 1 second. That is the difference between human and a machine. It will process millions of instruction in a second. Okay. The supercomputers of today, such as Param Yuva 2, built by Indian scientists at the Center for Development of Advanced Computing (CDAC), Pune, can carry out over 100 billion instructions per second. We have heard about it, I think. You might have heard about it. Supercomputers. There are something called supercomputers. We have super bikes, super cars, like that. We have something called supercomputers. What supercomputer we have in this present world? In India, what supercomputer we have? Param Yuva 2. Param Yuva 2. Just know about this. This is important. Okay. Param Yuva 2. We have built with the help of scientists, Indian scientists, where at Center for Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC. This is a company named Center for Development of Advanced Computing. Where the company is? It is in Pune. Okay. What that supercomputer does? It can carry out 100 billion instructions per second. Our normal computer will process in millions per second, but that supercomputer will perform in 100 billion, not just a billion, it is beyond million. Our computer will work in million. The supercomputer will work in billion, not just 1 billion, it will work in 100 billion instruction per second. So you think how many instructions is processed in 1 second? In 1 second, 100 billion instructions are processed. Okay. The center for all this processing activity is the central processing unit of the computer. All these processes are carried out where? It is carried out in CPU, central processing unit only. Okay. So speed, till now what we saw all about is speed of a computer. So computer works speedily. So speed is a characteristic of computer. Okay. Next, precision. All computer systems, besides having amazing speed, have almost 100% accuracy. Computer do not give faulty outputs. However, if they sometimes give wrong result, it is because of human error. See, that is what precision is. Accuracy. Precision is more or less to accuracy. It will never do a mistake. It will give 100% accuracy. Whatever the input you give, it will derive and give the correct answer. It won't do any wrong things. Okay, that is why it is one of the character. It is what? Precision is one of the character. Okay. Okay. That is the only reason precision is one of the character. Computer do not give faulty outputs. Computer will never give faulty outputs. However, if they sometimes give wrong result, it is because of human error. Even in sometimes you might see some mistakes in computer. For example, while you do something no, and you might see an error. It is not the error caused by the computer. It might be our human error. It will be our human error. It will not be a computer error. If, for example, I'm saying if you do some calculation, if the answer is if the derived answer from the computer is wrong, it is 100%. It means that computer will not do any mistake. You might have given some wrong input. You or we might have given some wrong input, so we might have got the wrong answer. The computer will not give the wrong answer. That is it. Okay. So it will give accurate answer, which is also known as precision. Okay. Okay. Next, reliability. Computers performs millions of calculation at a great speed without making mistakes. This makes computer a highly reliable device for repeated works. Reliability, it will give, we know that computer will not make mistakes, and it will work in very speed also. It will not make mistake, it will work in very speed, and it will never get tired so easily. A computer will not get tired. It is a machine. Why it will get tired? So repeatedly you can work on it. So all these three character it have, so it means it is reliable. It is reliable. It is adjustable to all these situations. It is adjustable to the speed. It is adjustable to, it will never make a mistake. So it is adjustable to the correctness. It is adjustable to repeated works. So it is reliable. So computer, one of the characteristic of a computer is reliability. Next, another character, memory. One more character of a computer is memory. Memory is the internal storage place for both data and instruction. Okay, memory is an internal storage place. What is memory? Memory is a storage place. As a human being, we have memory. What is memory? That is a stored thing. Whatever we saw in our real life, if we remember something now, so we remember, where all those where all those data are stored in our brain. So that is the memory. That is the memory. That is the storage place. Like that, for computer, memory is the storage place. Either you can say memory, either you can say storage place. It is not wrong. Storage also same, memory also same. For explanation, they have given like that. Memory is the internal storage place for both computer data and instruction. If you want to store some data, you can store in the computer. It will be stored in the memory only. Okay, okay. As it is located inside the computer. Where the memory is inside the computer. Nowadays, memory is outside also you have some memories like CDs, DVDs, pen drives. But mostly memories are inbuilt inside the computer. Okay, okay. Memory is further classified into primary and secondary. We know memory is the main thing in a computer. There only data are stored. But that memory is divided into two types. This also you should know. Okay. That memory is divided into two types. Those are primary memory, secondary memory. What are those? Primary memory, secondary memory. That's what we are going to see now. Primary memory, secondary memory. By seeing this, we'll wind up the class. The term primary memory refers to the main memory of a computer system where data and instructions are held for immediate processing. Primary memory are also known as main memory. See, basically primary means it is main only now, mostly primary, the first thing. So it is main memory only now. Primary memory is also called as main memory. There only data are stored. For temporary work, I told in before topic also we saw now. For temporary operations, there only data are stored. Data are stored in primary memory for temporary operations. There are two types of primary memories. In primary memories, actually memory is divided into two types, primary and secondary. But in primary itself, you have two types. Don't confuse, okay? Memory is divided into two types, that is primary and secondary. Primary is divided into two types, that is ROM and RAM. Simple only. While you read, no, you will easily understand. Just listen. Later we will read and understand fully. Okay. There are two types of primary memories. What are those? ROM and RAM. ROM means read only memory. RAM means random access memory. Okay, okay. Two types of primary memory. Okay, okay. We are going to see about both the type. RAM. RAM is temporary memory. I told not till now. Primary memory is temporary memory. So RAM is a temporary memory because RAM is a primary memory. Okay, okay. The principal function of RAM is to temporarily hold data and instruction required for immediate processing. What is the use of RAM? What is the use of this primary memory RAM? It will temporarily hold the data. Temporarily, not permanently. RAM will temporarily hold the data for immediate processing. If the computer want to do some immediate processing, temporarily it will hold the data. Okay, RAM is volatile in nature. That is, when the computer is turned off, both data and instruction get lost from the RAM. RAM is also known as volatile memory. It is a primary memory. It is also known as volatile memory. Why it is known as volatile memory means, since it stores the data temporarily, it is called volatile memory. How it happens? When the computer is turned off, both data and instruction get lost from the computer. It is temporarily stored in a primary, data are temporarily stored in RAM. While you switch off the computer, all those temporary data are erased, or destroyed, or erased. Okay, so it is also known as volatile. Why? Because temporarily the data are stored and it will be erased. While you switch off the computer, it will be erased, it will be lost. So it is called volatile memory. Okay, okay. Now RAM visa. Now we will see ROM. ROM is permanent in nature and non-volatile. This is also primary memory. RAM and ROM both are primary memory, but ROM is a permanent memory. RAM is a temporary memory, ROM is a permanent memory. Okay, okay. And non-volatile. Non-volatile in the sense, data will not be erased. While even if you switch off the computer, data will be there itself. It will not be erased. It will not be destroyed. Okay, you will never lose the data. Data once stored in ROM will be there permanently. Okay, the computer can only read the data and instruction from it, but cannot make any changes on it. In ROM, no, the computer, using this ROM memory, the computer will read the data. Inside the ROM, we have some data. By that only the computer works. Okay, the computer works. Those data are read by the computer, but it will not make any changes in ROM. Okay, data are stored in ROM. With the help of those data only, computers are working. Okay, this computer, even this computer is working with the instruction which is stored in the ROM only. But those data cannot be edited easily. The computer cannot change easily. The computer will not change it, or the human beings cannot change easily. Okay, once if data are stored, it is stored permanently in ROM. But in RAM, once if it is temporarily stored. Once it is switched off, it is erased. But in ROM, it is permanently stored. But both are also primary memory. These things you should be very clear about. Okay, you don't think ROM is a secondary memory. It is a primary memory, but in RAM it is temporarily stored. In ROM it is permanently stored. That is the difference. Okay, okay. However, today writable ROMs are also available. In today's world, you have something ROM where you can edit it, but mostly ROM is used as non-volatile. You cannot easily edit it. Okay, that is what. But we have an option, and in today's present world. Okay, okay. These instructions remain permanently in the computer even when the computer is turned off. That's what I told now. Even if you switch off the computer, data will be there as it is. ROM stores programs that instruct the computer how to control its various parts and how to process data. I told now, even this computer works with the instruction which is stored in the ROM. Yeah, ROM has some set of programs or instructions that controls the various parts of a computer. Okay, various parts of a computer. Okay, okay, that's it. Now in primary memory you saw what is RAM. In primary memory, you saw there are two types of memory, ROM, RAM, and you saw what is RAM and what is ROM. Now we are going for secondary memory. Don't worry, this is the last topic. Okay. Then we'll wind the class. Secondary memory. In memory, we saw two types, right? Primary and secondary. In primary only, we saw two types, that is RAM and ROM. But in memory, we saw two types now, primary and secondary. Primary, we saw. Till now, we saw it is primary. Now, we are going to see secondary memory. Okay. The term secondary memory refers to storage devices through which computer cannot directly access the data and instruction. From here, data and instruction gets transferred to primary memory. Data and instruction stays permanently in secondary memory until deleted. Secondary memory is non-volatile in nature. This simply means that data and instruction in this memory are not lost when the computer is turned off. Hard disk, pen drive, CDs, DVDs are the secondary storage device. Okay. I will explain about that. You have something called secondary memory. In a computer, you have two types of memory. One is primary and another one is secondary. Secondary memory is also an important memory, but it is not as important as primary memory. Primary memory is so important. Secondary memory is next to it because it is secondary. It is next to it. What does the secondary memory does? It stores the information. Whatever the information you fed into a computer, whatever the information you give into a computer, it will be stored where? In secondary memory only. For example, you are storing some games in your computer. On 10 GB game or 8 GB game or 4 GB game you are storing in your computer. Where it is stored? It is stored in somewhere called hard disk, which is inside the computer. Hard disk. You might have heard about it. Else you refer internet, you will see that device. Hard disk. Inside hard disk only there's those data, whatever the games you store in the computer will be stored. The videos you store in a computer will be stored in hard disk. The movies that you send to a computer will be stored in a hard disk. Hard disk means it will be inside this. Okay, inside the computer. Okay, it will be stored in hard disk. In that big CPU, if you have in your house, inside that you have something called hard disk, a big hardware. There only data are stored. Hard disk. Okay. So that hard disk is called secondary memory. That hard disk is called what memory? Secondary memory. Why it is called secondary memory? Because it stores all the data, whatever you fed into the computer. And that is one point. And it will not be deleted automatically. While you delete only, it will get deleted. It will not be deleted automatically. While you delete only, it will get deleted. See, there will be a small confusion between secondary and ROM. You might get confused, but don't confuse. ROM is primary memory. Hard disk and all are secondary memory. In ROM, you cannot edit it easily, but in secondary memory, you can edit it easily. Data in ROM also will not be lost. Data in secondary memory also will not be lost, but in ROM you cannot edit easily. In secondary memory you can edit easily. Edit means what? You can delete whatever the document you don't want. You can reinstall it. You can rewrite it. All those things. You can play it. Everything comes under secondary memory. You can edit it. That is one of the advantage in secondary memory. Okay. One of few examples of secondary memory are hard disk. I told no hard disk. That is a main example. Next, pen drive. Pen drive is a secondary memory because whatever the data, for example, if you want to store movies, you can store in pen drive, right? So it is a secondary memory. CDs and DVDs. You can store documents in CDs and DVDs, right? So secondary memory. Few examples are what? Hard disk, pen drive, CDs and DVDs are the secondary storage devices. Even your memory card is a secondary memory. Okay, that's it. Now, what are the things we saw? First we saw processing the computer program and data. In that we saw control unit, memory unit, arithmetic logic unit. Then we saw computer characteristics. In that characteristic we saw speed we saw, precision we saw, reliability we saw, memory we saw. In memory only there are different types. No need to confuse. If you are getting some confused with the memories, no, just move forward and see this video once again. From memory you see once again, so you will easily understand. Okay, in memory there are two types of memory: primary memory and secondary memory. In primary memory you have two types, that is read only memory and random access memory, which is also known as ROM and RAM. Okay, okay, that we saw. And finally we saw secondary memory also. Okay, so that's all. So by this, students, your first unit is over. Okay, first unit is over. If you have any confusion in the first unit, just go through all the videos which I have uploaded in the YouTube, and the link I have sent you in group. Now just go through that so that you can easily understand about the first unit. Beyond that, if you have any doubt also, you can call me and ask. Means you can text me in WhatsApp also. If you have any doubt, I will clear it. That's it, students. And if any homework is given, kindly do it. And book back answer in next class we will see. Okay, next video we will see book back answer. That's it, students. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.